Cork, on the banks of the River Lee, is the Republic's second largest city. A lively art scene can be found along narrow laneways, and locals are well proud of this former rebel city. I'm quite excited to be in Cork. I hope to find out more about my own Irish ancestors. I've organised a meeting with Brian O'Shea, a genealogist who has done much research into the history of the Shea clan.
If people are chasing up their ancestors here in Ireland, the Irish libraries are very helpful, but you do need a certain amount of detail. It's a little bit like a needle in a haystack otherwise, but the churches can be helpful, and certain records are in the libraries now from the churches. People usually know more than they actually are aware of. You start with the present generation and you work back, and you'll get at least to 1820 fairly reasonably. And if you're lucky to live in, your ancestors lived in a town perhaps back to 1750 or so. And if you have a native name, a native Irish name, perhaps one of these DNA projects, and that could get you further back again.
Brian suggested I visit Cobb Harbour, the place most immigrants departed during the potato famine of the 1840s.
The present population of Ireland is about 4 million. During the famine times in the 1840s, it was double that, 8 million. And a large part of that population were landless labourers. And during the 4 or 5 years of the famine, half the population of Ireland either died or emigrated. And the largest emigration point in Ireland was Cove.
My great-great-grandfather, Timothy O'Shea, left Ireland during the famine in 1846. What a journey it must have been for a 16-year-old boy, first to America, then chasing gold onward to Australia. We know Timothy came from Kerry, as most Sheas do, but we don't know what part. Maybe DNA testing could reveal this.
Unfortunately, it's only the male. So if a family has only daughters, it's impossible. It's the Y chromosome you do it on. If they're identical twins, perhaps they're identical DNA. Brothers, first cousins, second cousins, they will vary slightly, but we reckon the mutation rate is 1 in 8 generations, and there's a sliding scale of probability from then on. Our DNA project, what I tried to do was compare typical samples from the tips of 3 peninsulas in West Cork and Kerry as families that were always there and never moved. And from those 3 samples, I'm comparing all other samples. So they're the blueprints.
I later wished to return to Kerry, the home of my ancestors. But for now, I'm returning to Cork to do a story on a modern-day immigration. Since Poland joined the European Union in 2004, as many as 200,000 Poles have moved to Ireland for work. This equates to about 5% of Ireland's population. This massive and unparalleled wave of immigration has been a phenomenon of post-Cold War Europe. I visited Cork's first Polish restaurant and spoke with owner Magdalena Karp. I first asked why she set up the restaurant.
We did it because there are so many Polish people, and they miss Polish food. And the food is traditional, the kind of food people eat in Poland for their dinners every day. I think that some Polish people are going to stay in Ireland for good, and some other people want to save some money and go back to Poland.
As I wandered along the banks of the River Lee, I wondered whether 150 years from now, an Irishman with a Polish surname would be in the same predicament as me, trying to find where their great-great-grandfather originated from. My search continues.